for a special Tabletop Day episode of Command Combat Battle Reports. This is not our regular season, but we definitely wanted to do something for Tabletop Day. Stay tuned after the game for information on our new upcoming season, which is really going to be exciting because we're going to have a whole list of shows. Today's game is Memoir 44. We'll be using the Winter Wars expansion, which represents the Ardennes Offensive in 1944, when the Germans tried to push through the American lines and created the Battle of the Bulge. Our German player is Jeff. You gotta watch out for him, he's a little bit of a creeper. And his forces include a long line of infantry, backed up by a line of armor. The armor is beyond a river, so they will have to build a pontoon bridge to get across. Let's see what his strategy is gonna be. I'm Jeff, I'm a writer and a game designer, and I run this channel, and today I'm going to be playing the Germans in Memoir 44, and my strategy is essentially, I have a lot of tanks behind a river, I need pontoon bridges, but I need an attack card to do it, and I don't have it at the beginning, so I'm going to use a recon card to try to get more cards, to try to get that attack card so I can get them over. We'll see how that works. The American player is Rachel, and her forces are dug in along the communities. A bit scattered, but holding the objective points. Let's see what she plans to do.
Hi, my name is Rachel. This is actually my first time playing the game, so my goals are to not suck and not suck. So we'll see how this goes.
It's the dead of winter, so there's thick snow on the ground. This is going to slow down vehicles, and there's also a strong snowstorm going on, so long-range shooting is going to be affected. Let's start this fight. It starts with the German player making their push, and he moves his right flank into the woods. The dug-in Americans fire at them and push some of them back. So I go, ah! Run back. The German infantry in the center pushes forward into that line of woods. And the Americans move their armor on the right flank forward a little bit. The two sides fire back and forth, and the Germans push forward in the center, but can't dislodge those stubborn Americans. The Americans swing around their armor from the right flank and give them a right hook. They also bring forward some of their reserve infantry that starts getting pecked away by the Germans. The Americans continue to push forward that armor, taking the initiative. This may be Rachel's first game, but she really knows what to do. She whittles away some of that infantry and pushes them back out of the woods. The armor follows them up and keeps on fighting. The Germans, meanwhile, are trying to pick away at that dug-in infantry on their right flank, but they're just taking losses themselves. And now the armor has a pontoon bridge across the river. This is really going to be a game changer. The Americans see this and pull back their armor. How does it look on the field, Yankee Joe? Well, I can hardly see anything for this heavy snow. And it's pretty crazy out here because we weren't expecting an attack today. But now with this pontoon bridge, these here Germans are going to push through probably here in the center and a little bit to their left. The snow will probably slow them down, and a lot of the American infantry is dug in inside of towns where the armor doesn't do quite as good, you see? But anybody that's exposed is probably going to get run over by them tanks. But we Americans, we aren't licked by a long shot, no sirree. We still have these tank destroyers back here. Yes sirree, them there's Hellcats. And they're going to be able to swing around and probably take care of them there German tanks. Meanwhile, we're holding them pretty well on the right flank there. Their armor isn't able to get across, you see, and we're just whittling away their infantry. Thanks for that report, Yankee Joe. Well, the American armor that's already out there is trying to stop that German tide of iron, and they managed to kill off one of them and push him back, right in the way of the Hellcats. They push forward onto their flank, destroy one and push them further back. Oh, now here's what's interesting. So they retreat one. They are unable to retreat any further, though, and the unit is destroyed. That is 1 point for the Americans. They've got the first point in this game. The Americans are going to follow up their victory by starting to push forward the armor on their left flank. But now the Germans play their finest hour, which is the most powerful card in the game. They use it for their armor, which pushes forward as expected. And takes out that heroic American armor. Because they killed them off, they can move into here and battle again. So they will turn on. They overrun them and continue on to the infantry, who runs into the woods. Oh, that's They continue to push up their armor on the left flank and start pushing forward with their infantry on the right. The Americans throw back that infantry on their left and tackle the armor on their right. That's vengeance for their heroic armor unit. That's 2 points for them. The armor then pushes on their left and starts whittling down those tank destroyers. They continue rolling forward on their left flank, but they have run out of fuel. That German unit is stuck behind the town. The two are now stuck in a firefight right down the center of the board, both whittling each other away, locked in combat. And the Americans get a strong hit on their left flank. They follow it up with armor, and the German infantry retreats through the woods. The Americans then push forward with some infantry on their right flank, and the Germans take advantage of their exposed position by running over them with their tanks. They push forward and cause the tank destroyers to pull back into the woods. The weakened German infantry on the right fortifies. The American infantry on the right, which has been holding that town valiantly, starts a street fight with the armor, but they're out of ammo, which sends them to the rear. That leaves the town exposed.
Like basically the edge of the board. So meaning strong there.
And it's still an objective, so the German armor is going to easily be able to go in there and take it. But the Hellcats aren't going to let them go so easily, and they take them down. And the Americans now have 3 points. This game is still tied up 3-3, and the Americans continue their relentless push on the right, whittling away the German infantry in the woods. And then their Hellcats move closer to the center and blast away the German armor there. The Germans meanwhile move their infantry up into that town, taking it. They now have 4 points. The Germans fire back with their armor and take out those Hellcats. The American tank destroyers are gone, but they did their job, almost entirely annihilating the German armor on the left flank. Now, however, the Americans are trying to dislodge the Germans from that town, and they're trying to push them out of those woods. The German armor on the right now moves across their pontoon bridge to see if they can do anything to that stubborn infantry in that town. The brave American armor moves up to meet them on the road, and they knock that unit down to one single tank. The Germans come back at them with the infantry, taking out 2 of them.
This guy, one tank, mano y mano, one tank against one tank for the goal. Here goes.
And a lone tank takes out the last one. That's their 6th point, winning the game. I tell you, this was a really close one. The Americans had 4 points, but they had a lot of German units whittled down to one single stand. A real nail-biter here in Burbank. I mean the Ardennes, from the Ardennes. Let's see what the players have to say about it.
Well, it worked, but actually, honestly, I think it was mostly because of the luck. Rachel actually did enough things that she could have completely kicked my ass, and in fact, had the dice rolls for a normal day, but because of the snow, those rolls weren't counting. She needed the grenades. I somehow had the magic of the grenades, of the dice, so I ended up pulling out a victory. But, you know, it was fun, had a good time, and we'll see what happens next time.
I didn't suck. The train might have sucked. The snowstorm really sucked. But I enjoyed the game, and next time I think Jeff's going down.
Well, that'll do it for us here at Command Combat Battle Reports. Be sure to stick around for our special post-game show, where I'll be telling you about all the exciting things that are going to be happening to Command Combat Battle Reports. In the meantime, have a great tabletop day, and happy gaming, everybody! Welcome to the post-show, everybody, and happy tabletop day! For those of you who have been fans for a while, thank you for watching and for bearing through the long absences between videos. And for those of you who are new, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll enjoy the future videos. This is a special episode for Tabletop Day, and I'm going to have more coming up. But what I'm wanting to do is actually get a lot of them together and have them ready to go so that they are an ongoing series. In fact, my plan at this point is to accomplish what I had originally set out to do, which is sort of to make this the ESPN of war games in a way. The idea is to have one show for every day of the week, and each show has one episode every week. So there will be one on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc., for 3 months, and then, you know, I'll see how it goes from there. Here are the shows we're going to be doing. The first one will be Command Combat Miniature Warfare, which will feature miniature games such as Saga, Flames of War, Lord of the Rings, the games that this show really built upon. The second show will be Miniature Reenactments, which will be historical lessons of historical battles, utilizing miniatures from the historical games. The third one is what I am currently calling Models and Minis. It'll essentially be tutorials on painting, building terrain, etc. The fourth one will be Command Combat Computer Reports. Some of you might have seen this on a different channel. It was something I also did in the early days. It's essentially battle reports of computer games. The fourth one will be called Board Game Battles. The game you saw today would be in that category. It's essentially board games that are also war games. The sixth one, and I'm kind of excited about this one, I'm teaming up with a group called Iron Shield Arms, who does live-action gladiatorial combat. They will be teaching the styles of combat and how to utilize the weapons of various armies throughout history, and then using them against each other. The seventh one will be what this show was originally based on, which is my game, Command Combat Civil War. There will be tutorials of how to play, battle reports, and previews of what's coming up in the game. I especially owe this to those who have been fans of this game for a while, and to whom I've been promising these tutorials for a long time. So as you can see, this is a very ambitious plan, especially considering the fact that I do this pretty much alone. I have some friends helping out with the various games, and especially my girlfriend Jamie, who's been tremendous in doing some of the narration and occasionally some of the other help. But for the most part, it is on me after a full-time job, and I'm doing my books. By the way, I just released another book in March about Al Capone's long-lost brother, who was a prohibition officer. But that being said, I'm having to kind of do this along with the other things. I will have this come out this year, all of these episodes, all of these shows, but I'm having to put them together. Once they're all together, they're going to go up. I don't want to put a date to it and end up not being able to keep up like last year, but it is going to happen. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for all of your support. One of the main reasons I'm still doing this is because of the great comments I've been getting, all of the encouragement. It's really because of you guys, and I really, really appreciate all the support. So, with that in mind, have a great tabletop day, and happy gaming, everybody.